Hello everybody, it's Cobalt here and welcome back to another video. If you haven't already heard the news, I am one of the LPS creators chosen to be an LPS ambassador for Littlest Pet Shop and Basic Fun for the year of 2024. And essentially what this means is that me and all the other ambassadors will be doing a video every month in partnership with Basic Fun. I actually have a playlist on my YouTube channel where you can check out all of our videos and stay up to date with the content that we've all been making. If you saw my video from last month, you know that Basic Fun sent me this super huge boom box full of LPS goodies, and in this video I'm going to be revealing the next set that they sent me, which is the Tiki Jungle Play Pack. I know, I'm sure a lot of you guys are hoping for something different because I have actually unboxed this set on my channel already, but this is honestly one of the best sets that I think has been released so far. I love all three pets in this set so much. I think they're all super cute, and I just love how cohesive all of their colors are together. All around, just a great set and absolutely no complaints from me on this one. So here are all of the pets that come in this set once again. We have this cute little red baby monkey, then we have this electrifying teal iguana, and this amazing cheetah. I think the cheetah is probably my favorite one because I just love the jaguar mold so much, and I think this one just has such a cool design. I love all the little spots. She's super unique. And even though I won't hesitate to express my love for the fact that Basic Fun is bringing back such unique molds, like everybody else, I also cannot wait for Basic Fun to make some of the main 5 LPS. You know, collies, Great Danes, Cocker Spaniels, short hair cats, everything like that. So that got me thinking, instead of just waiting around for Basic Fun to hurry up and make them, why not make some myself? And you guys can follow along at home as well. Obviously, this is not my original design idea. I'm going to be inspired by one of these pets, so I think making your own custom inspired by this video is completely fine. But basically what I'm going to do is take one of these LPS and take a main 5 base figure of my choice and combine them to see what it would look like if you took one of the G7 LPS and made it into a main 5 pet. So as much as I said I love the jaguar the most, I feel like this design kind of only works on a jaguar. You know, it's a very jaguar, cheetah, leopard sort of inspired design. I think it could be very cute on a short hair cat, but the design out of all 3 of these that is speaking to me the most is the iguana. So let's move these guys out of the way. I just think the colors of this one are so cool. It's got this really interesting blue that we have not seen in any other pets from G7 so far. On camera it looks like a lot more blue tone, but I feel like in real life it's a little bit more greenish. And I think the brown eyes are so interesting. Again, these colors are pretty much exclusively unique to this pet. And this is another one where I feel like the lightning bolt designs are actually incorporated really well. I talked about this in my original unboxing video, but I just love the way that they look on the side of this one. Some of the G7 LPS definitely look like the design elements are kind of just slapped on here, but for this one in particular, I feel like the lightning bolts, especially on this side, really complement the base, and I love the way that they sort of wrap onto its arms. I think it's really unique. And you might not notice this, but this one also has some cool little stripes on all of its legs, which I also really like. So that is basically my thought process behind choosing this LPS and why I love this one's design so much. And if you know me, you know that I absolutely love collies. So naturally, I'm going to be transferring this design onto a collie base. Ignore the fact that this one does not have a tail. I'm gonna find a base that actually does have a tail. So without further ado, let's head on over to my desk and start on the customizing process so you guys can follow along at home. The overall painting process for this custom was pretty simple. I actually started doing the base coat off camera because that part's boring and takes so many layers, but I added the final layer of the base coat on camera for you guys to start off the time lapse. I get a lot of questions from people asking me what kind of materials I use. I think in the future I want to do like sort of a supplies tour showing everything that I do actually use for my customs, but for this custom I primarily used Americana paint, and I did have to mix the base color, but you will see when I actually reveal the custom, the colors were definitely too dark and maybe a little bit of the wrong hue, but it's okay. I still think the custom turned out really cute in the end, even if the colors are kind of all out of whack. So my thought process behind this custom was to pretty much just take everything that the original iguana has and put it onto the collie base, as I already mentioned. So basically we have this slightly dark teal color, and then it has this bright blue or bright teal lightning bolt on its chest, and I decided to also incorporate that color elsewhere in the design, so I gave it a bright blue little nose because obviously the iguana does not have a colored nose, but the collie would, so I decided that that color fit best instead of doing the darker blue, just so that that there's a little bit more of the lighter color throughout. And of course I did take the darker shade and I used that in the same places that the iguana has, so on all 4 of its paws, the little stripes and all the legs, and then of course the lightning bolt shapes on the sides. And I actually realized this while painting the custom. Not only does this LPS have the 2 lightning bolts on the sides, but there's also sort of like a V shape around the lightning bolt as well. And that's another thing that I don't know if I've mentioned, but I really like when there's a little bit of extra detail with the symbols. So instead of just the standard lightning bolt, we have like this extra shape. And for example, like the yellow axolotl, not only does it have 1 star slapped somewhere on, but it has like a bunch of little stars, and I think that adds a lot to the design and makes it a lot cuter. So I'm really glad to notice that this iguana had something like that going on as well. Now, one detail that I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted to incorporate into the collie was the fact that the iguana has like the dark spikes on its head, and obviously, you know, the collie doesn't really have much going on in its head. Originally I thought of maybe like painting some hair on it just like flat, because I know there's some LPS in the past who sort of have like a hair shape painted on their forehead, but ultimately I decided that it would be best to paint the collie's ears the darker color, and I think that was definitely a good choice. I really like the way that came out. But again, if you guys want to make this custom yourself, I'd be really curious to see if anybody interprets the design a little bit differently than I have here. Of course, after I finished painting everything, and then it was time for me to do the eyes. The eyes on this one are very, very simple, just in the LPS style eyes. I feel like I've gotten pretty good at painting LPS style eyes because I don't do it on every single one of my customs, but I do it relatively frequently, and sometimes commissioners ask me specifically to do an LPS style of eye. So maybe in the future, if you guys are interested, I can do a tutorial on that as well, because while it is super simple, it is a bit tricky to figure out at first if you're not used to it, which I think is a big reason why a lot of people have developed their own eye styles and things that work for them best in LPS customs. But obviously, you know, if you do your own style, you can put a lot more details and have a lot more fun with it than just the 3 simple circles of color. You have the darker color followed by the lighter color, and then of course the black for the pupil. You can also see in the time lapse that I definitely messed up while outlining the eyeliner shapes of the eyes, but I go back in later and correct that. So even somebody who I guess you could consider like a professional LPS customizer makes mistakes all the time. It's just a matter of covering it up so that people don't notice when you finish the product. For the eyes as well, I noticed that the iguana sort of has a more angular shape to its eyes with the way that the eyeliner is painted on, so I incorporated that into this collie as well by sort of reshaping its eyes a little bit in the paint. And then of course I added the 2 lashes on the side. While I totally see the iguana as like a male character, I feel like the collie came out a little bit more feminine, so I just thought that that was interesting how the eyelashes sort of translated differently onto different pets, but I feel like the ones that I painted might be a little bit more curved up, which probably helps with that as well. Anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about the painting process, so enjoy the rest of the time lapse and then we will get on to the grand reveal. Alright, the custom is now complete, so here is the grand reveal. Dun dun dun, check it out. Alright, here is the custom and here is the original LPS that inspired it. So let's do a little turnaround of the custom here. This is how they turned out. I think it turned out pretty good. You can definitely tell, especially when they're side by side, that the colors are a little bit too dark and maybe a little bit too blue. I think that the color that I used for the base would have been a lot better for the darker details, and if I just added a little bit of green, the lighter color honestly would have been better for the base coat. But by the time I realized that, I was already done with the base coat, so I was like, you know what, we'll just live with it and keep on going. And I still think that the custom turned out really, really cute, even if the colors aren't 100% accurate. If you guys want to remake this custom yourselves, which like I mentioned, you absolutely can, maybe you guys can try to get the colors a little bit more accurate. And of course, if you do end up doing that, I would love to see it. So if you post it on Instagram or post it in a YouTube video, don't forget to tag me so I can take a look. And if you guys are interested in purchasing the Tiki Jungle Pack for yourselves, it is available at Walmart in the United States, so I'll put a link down below in the description. But you can also test your luck and try to find it in the store as well. Even though the custom didn't turn out exactly how I imagined, I still had a lot of fun with this project and I would love to do it again. So definitely let me know in the comments down below if you would also like me to continue this as a little series where I turn other G7 LPS into Generation 2 Main 5 pets. And of course, this custom will also be for sale at LPS Con this summer. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Huge thank you again to Basic Fun for making this project possible, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye!